everyone. I wanted to share my Waterfall album project that I got from Bona at Scrappy Hour. Wanted to share that with you, so here we go. Here's the cover. The paper throughout the whole mini is the Recess paper collection by Basic Gray. On the cover, I did some masking with the Tim Holtz mini masks and the Distress Ranger Distress ink in walnut. On the edging, I used Distress embossing powder in broken china, and I edged it additionally with the paint dauber in Stream. And then on this stamped image here around our story, the stamped image is from a Tim Holtz stamp set, and I used Versamark and black soot Distress embossing powder to sort of call that out. The Las Vegas alphas are cut out using Cuttlebug die Olivia and my Big Shot, and then I inked it with broken china Distress ink, and then put crackle accent on top to call that out a little bit more. So that's the cover. When you open it up, you get this. On the first page here on the left, the stamped image is again from a Tim Holtz stamp set. It says, "Not all who wander are lost." I love that saying. I have a chipboard butterfly here, and I used Versamark and Distress embossing powder in the blue jean color. And then this acetate is actually from Seven Gypsies, and it's called the ATC acetate, and I actually created a pocket out of it, which is pretty cool. On the bottom it says Journey Destination. And then I created this tag, which basically talks about who, what, when, where, and this mini album is about our recent road trip to Las Vegas. I have some Recess ribbon that came in the kit Bona gave me, and a little Tim Holtz trinket pin. And then on the back I have some journaling. Okay, so that's the first page. And then on the second page I cut out a piece of acetate. I used Versamark to edge around the edges, and I used the Tim Holtz stamp, The Journey Awakens the Soul, and black embossing powder, and heat set that. And then I matted a picture here on some of the Recess paper and accented that with a Prima ribbon and a gold brad. And then inserted in the back here is a journaling tag. Okay, so that's that page. And then you actually pull over here and the album flips. Pretty cool. On this side, I kept it pretty simple. I just have a couple of rhinestones and a button, some basic gray Recess ribbon, and ICU are, those used to be white thickers, and I used Ranger's alcohol inks in oregano and lettuce to give it that green color to match the paper. And then on this side, I used a basic gray chipboard, and again used alcohol inks to bring it out to a color I wanted. And same with this, it says "Be Cool." The L didn't fit, so it's sort of sideways, so it sort of says "Be Cool," which is okay because look at my little man in the shades there. It's kind of funny. It says "R. Mr. McShady." So funny. This tag here is a 97% tag by Seven Gypsies. It's the quote small tag. Okay, so then pull the little tag here to flip the page further, or flip the album. Okay, then on this side, this is about the kids' Uncle Rico. Uncle Rico's my younger brother. He lives out in Vegas. Again, I used the thickers, white thickers, and then I colored it with alcohol inks to bring it out to the color I wanted it. And I used slate and blue jean to bring it out. On this side, I cut out a piece of acetate, and you can't tell, but I ran it through my Big Shot with some the plaid, what do you call it, embossing plates, and you can't really tell because there's so much going on with this acetate, but what I did is I alcohol inked it with copper, slate, and blue jean, and then I went and stamped it with this French handwriting stamp with Versamark I used Versamark to stamp it, and then I poured embossing powder, edged it with Versamark also, and then I poured black embossing powder and heat set it, so we got that. Then I matted a photo on it and accented it with some Prima ribbon and a Stampin' Up! Corduroy brad, which came in the kit. Thanks, Bona. I love these brads. They're super cute. And I actually got a little bit of ink on there while I was working the project, but that's okay. It sort of adds to that whole distress look. And then I created a tag here with some recessed ribbon again, and this is just a little tag about what we like about Uncle Rico. Okay, and then just pull this to flip the page again, and excuse me if you hear sounds in the background. My kids are watching Monsters, Inc., so it's kind of loud. When we were in Vegas, we actually took my mom out for her birthday, so this is a really memorable picture for me, but it's me, my mom, and my 3 boys, a day to remember. Then I accented it with a button that came in the kit. The matted picture actually acts as a pocket, and in the tag I used the sand it, emboss it, love it, I forget what it's called, but it's a special paper where it's layered, so it's a dark color on top, a light color in the bottom, so when you run it through the Sizzix, like if you do like embossing, the color underneath comes out, so it's really neat. Chipboard butterfly, and then I used copper distress crackle paint and just a couple of beads. These are my own, they didn't come with the kit, and same with the butterfly, but I just added a few things. These things came with the kit, so Prima flowers, a little leaf, and a corduroy button on top, super cute, and then journaling in the back. Okay, so there's that. And then on this page, I used a 7 Gypsies acetate again as a sleeve to insert a journaling tag. What we have here, and then I have a button accenting the top of that tag. And then I have a matted picture of my husband, me, and the 3 boys on 4th of July when we were watching some fireworks being set off in the backyard. Okay, so there's that. And pull some more. Okay, and then on this page, I have some tags that I layered with a brad and an eyelet, so they're sort of loose so you can actually turn them, and so they kind of go like this. I didn't finish journaling, so this is where I'm going to journal about our trip to FAO Schwartz at the Forum Shops in Las Vegas, and then there's more journaling there. And then this actually is Velcroed in, so you can just pull that off. And then I have a picture here of my youngest son playing over at FAO Schwartz at one of the PlayStations. Okay, so then that just goes back on there. This side's actually pretty simple. It's just a matted picture of my second son, Dylan. Just stamped smile on there, got some recessed ribbon attached with the brad. And then the last page is really simple. I just created a journaling tag on the left-hand side and accented it with a couple of bling that came with the kit Bona provided. And then here's Jared. There's some photo corner edges. I sanded the edges of the paper with my sanding block. This is a chipboard butterfly, and I accented that with crackle accents. And then again, thickers in white, but I used alcohol inks and oregano and lettuce to give it that green color to match the paper. And then on the back cover here, I could not put anything on here because it's the piece that allows the pages to slide in and out. So I had to keep this flat and free of anything. So I decided to do some masking, and I stamped this frame here. So I'm probably going to do some more journaling here, but I haven't completed that. So anyways, that's my waterfall album. This was a really fun project. I had a lot of fun putting this together. So thank you, Bona, for giving this to us as a project at Scrappy Hour. It was so much fun. Anyways, there's my mini. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye.